Broadcasting live from the Albay News Center, providing you the most exclusive news updates from all over the province. This is 12 o'clock news break. For the local news, the provincial government of Albay is set to complete the game plan for the second phase of expansion of the Bicol International Airport. Provincial Planning and Development Coordinator Arnold Unrubia said on Monday. It can be recalled that the barangays of Alobo and Gapo, located in Daraga, and Barangay del Rosario in the municipality of Camalig, which are affected during the first phase of the expansion, have already had existing resettlement areas. For the second phase of the expansion, Barangay Burgos, Daraga, Albay was identified, affecting 43 affected households. Onrubia said that the plans relative to the resettlement will be ensured to be inclusive and consultative, acknowledging the sentiments of the affected individuals. In another news, the provincial government of Albay and the Department of Health Bicol Center for Health Development recently signed the terms of partnership aiming to implement health sector reforms in the province. With the recent addition of the province as one of the 2024 Universal Healthcare Integration Site, the PGA, in cooperation with the Health Department, pledged to continuously work on delivering improved healthcare services through the implementation of the annual operation plan for the year 2024. Governor Attorney Edsel Greco A.B. Legman said that such partnership is a good starting point in the continuous effort to achieve the zero balance statements through the PhilHealth's no balance billing policy and the improved utilization of medical assistance to indigent patients program. In another news, a total of 139 centenarians from Bicol received their 100,000 cash gift from the Department of Social Welfare and Development in the region last year. This was confirmed by Myla Cruz, the centenarian focal person of DSWD in Bicol. Cruz said that these centenarians were able to show proof or evidence of their age by presenting their birth certificates and valid identification cards. The provision of financial presents from the national government to Filipino citizens who reach the age of 100 is mandated by the Republic Act 1086-8 or the Centenarians Act of 2016. In the national scene, while the heat outside may be searing, State Weather Bureau Pag-asa said Thursday, March 7, it still isn't the dry season, which most people colloquially call summer. Pag-asa Weather Division Chief Juanito Galang said the northeast monsoon is still prevailing, particularly in the northern portions of the country. Based on discussions with the Climatology Division, Galang said that onset of the dry season may be declared in 2 weeks. In another news, 4 senators have signed a written objection on the contempt order sought by Senator Riza Hontiveros against televangelist Apollo Kibuloy. Senator Robin Padilla, member of the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, who raised the objection during last Tuesday's hearing. He gave this update this Thursday as he races against time to get the required 8 signatures to reverse the contempt order. Padilla said he talked to Senators Grace Poe and Rafi Tulfo, who both refused to sign the written objection. He's also reaching out to other committee members, namely Senators Pia Cayetano, Mark Villar, Joel Villanueva, Nancy Binay, and Loren Ligarda. In another news, the Philippines will continue regular rotation and resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal despite running low on supply boats. Western Command Commander Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos said deterioration of government indigenous resupply boats will not affect the conduct of the regular rotation and resupply missions. Some of the options include managing the load on the remaining supply boats without sacrificing the transport of needed supplies to station troops on board the BRP Sierra Madre. The World War II vessel was deliberately run aground by Philippine troops on Ayungin Shoal in the Spratly Islands to serve as an outpost of the Philippine Marine Corps and to assert Philippine sovereignty. For the international scene, China has stepped up gray zone warfare against Taiwan, aiming to make the areas around the democratic islands saturated with balloons, drones, and civilian boats. A Taiwan Defense Ministry report said on Thursday, March 7. Taiwan, whose government rejects Beijing's sovereignty claims, has complained in recent years that China has been using so-called gray zone warfare, which yields irregular tactics to exhaust a foe without resorting to open combat. In a report sent to Parliament, a copy of which was reviewed by Reuters, the ministry said Beijing has launched multi-front saturated gray zone tactics to harass Taiwan, which includes increased patrols of ships and planes. In another news, the U.S. said on Wednesday, March 6, the talks on a ceasefire and release of hostages in Gaza could still reach an agreement between Hamas and Israel, as the enclave's humanitarian crisis prompted South Africa to ask the World Court for new emergency measures. Negotiators from Hamas militants, Qatar and Egypt, but not Israel, are trying to secure a 40-day ceasefire in time for the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, which will begin early next week. Despite speculation negotiations were at an impasse, the U.S. said on Wednesday that a truce accord was still possible. And finally, for the news outside the country, a dating method based on cosmic rays has identified stone tools found in western Ukraine as the oldest known evidence of human occupation in Europe, which was 1.4 million years ago. This evidence shows that the peopling of the continent occurred hundreds of thousands of years earlier than the previously known. Researchers said on Wednesday the stone tools, the most primitive kind known, were initially unearthed in the 1970s near the town of Korolevo in the Carpathian foothills along the Tisa River, which is close to Ukraine's borders with Hungary and Romania. But their age had remained unclear. The new method determined the age of the sediment layer containing the stone tools, making this site critical for understanding how humans first spread into Europe during warm spells, which is called interglacial periods, that interrupted the Ice Age grip on the continent. And that ends our news break for today, March 8, 2024. We'll be back on Monday next week for more news updates. Thanks to our 12 o'clock news break writer, Francia May Boras. And on the technical side, there's Richard Bobis. Pinch hitting for Mr. Greg Haliara. This has been your anchor for the day. I am Maria Elena Pancho. Thank you for subscribing.